CEO and commissioner of LIV Golf, Greg Norman, has spent much of the last year trying to find a broadcasting partner for the golfing league he currently manages. He has finally secured that by locking up a multi-year broadcasting agreement with CW Network. This deal finally brings LIV Golf to a traditional television platform in the United States. While LIV Golf hails it as a major victory, LIV detractors view it as a defeat. Since its launch, LIV Golf has been taunted for its inability to gain world ranking points and a TV deal. Greg Norman, the man they call the Shark, can now brag about this achievement and tick it off the box, leaving him time to focus on other things. But what does this mean for the rival circuit and the golf world? Stick around to find out. A few days until kicking off its second season and 6 months after holding its inaugural event, LIV Golf's commissioner is now able to check off one of his most crucial goals, which was to secure a large-scale broadcasting deal before the second season got underway, as the Saudi-funded series is set to air its tournaments for the very first time on U.S. broadcast television. Norman called the agreement momentous and believes that the new partnerships with the CW network will provide accessibility for fans and create maximum exposure for everyone on the roster and their partners as they reach over 120 million homes. Under the arrangement, CW Network will broadcast the opening event for LIV Golf's second season, which is expected to take place at El Chameleon Golf Course in Mexico, with the opening rounds of all LIV Golf events available to watch on the CW app. The weekend rounds of LIV's tournaments will be featured on the CW Network channel. While the exact terms of the broadcasting agreement have not yet been shared, sources from both parties have quietly confirmed that it is a revenue-sharing agreement. Even though LIV Golf is paying for all of the future production costs, some of the revenue will be flowing back in the direction of LIV Golf, which has to be music to the ears of Greg Norman, who has been operating his break-off league at a major loss for its first shortened season. While commenting on LIV's breakthrough, Norman said it was one of the critical moves the boys on LIV Golf targeted. The television deal was one of the principal moves we always targeted right from the onset. Greg also boasted that LIV Golf made a record as the fastest sports league to sign a deal with the TV station a few months after its launch. Our platform speaks for itself and our format speaks for itself. And when you think about where we were 9 months ago and where we are today, we're the fastest to get a network deal with the CW than any other sports league in history. LIV's TV station deal took longer than expected, but the World Golf Hall of Famer had the pleasure of announcing the positive news to everyone on January 19th. And many of his doubters were silent when the news broke of the multi-year broadcasting agreement with the CW network for the league's second season and beyond. The broadcasting deal allows CEO Greg Norman to brag about his accomplishments, especially since he's been facing more and more pressure in recent weeks about delivering on his promises. According to the Shark, the marriage between LIV and CW and getting in front of millions of homes speaks for itself, as both organizations see the value in each other. And that's not all. He also boasted that the deal with the CW wasn't the only offer on the table. CW weren't the only bidders. We had multiple other offers on the table at the time, Norman recalled. Well, it's easy for him to say because LIV Golf never made public any previous offers they received. However, there had been indications that LIV Golf was actively negotiating with Fox Sports to try and secure a broadcasting partnership to stream events on its sports-related channel. According to speculations, the Saudi-backed series would buy airtime on Fox Sports to air its tournament. You see, while media companies typically pay sports leagues a reasonable rights fee to air their products, the supposed deal would not have seen LIV receive payment. Instead, the controversially financed LIV would have bought airtime on the cable channel to air all of its events, a move that would have been vastly interpreted as a failure to attract serious commercial interest in what it had to offer, which would have been a major blow to Norman's efforts. According to a well-placed industry executive, LIV stuck out with approaches to multiple broadcasters, including CBS, NBC, Apple, Amazon, and Disney. Fox Sports got involved only at the request of Lachlan Murdoch, Fox Corp's CEO and executive chairman. According to the source, there were people at Fox who wanted nothing to do with this but were forced to do it. Last October, Sports Business Journal reported that Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, had been calling broadcasters in an effort to generate interest in a LIV TV package. In 2021, Kushner's private equity firm, Affinity Partners, secured over $2 billion in funding from the Saudi Public Investment Fund. LIV requested a rights fee for year 2 of any deal and a guaranteed time slot on network television. Still, both both proposals were rejected by Fox, according to insiders privy to the specifics of the conversations. It's also believed that Fox offered to reevaluate network placement at a later date. Also, LIV would have been responsible for two tasks that would normally fall to a broadcast partner: the production of its tournament broadcasts and selling commercial sponsorships during its time slots. All of these are believed to have made the agreement fall through in the final days of 2022, and the new opportunity with the CW network became available relatively quickly. Now, a massive broadcasting deal has been sealed. Norman will likely focus on bringing official World Golf Rankings eligibility to LIV Golf and begin to prioritize corporate sponsorships. Many of the highly ranked golfers will slowly plummet in the official World Golf Rankings with every passing day. This means golfers like British Open champion Cam Smith, Brooks Koepka, and even Bryson DeChambeau will drop from their positions in the world rankings and lose eligibility to major championships like the Masters. LIV Golf still needs to qualify for the eligibility of ranking points, and it's not clear whether they will by the end of their second season. Not only will LIV Golf try to follow up their broadcasting deal with the eligibility for official World Golf Ranking points, but Norman is also likely to pursue more corporate sponsors to offset the massive financial deficit that LIV Golf has taken on during its first year. On another note, Greg Norman claims to be attempting to target a younger golf audience with LIV Golf. His broadcasting agreement with CW Network could align with those long-term goals because the average age of viewers on the CW Network is 58 years old, while other networks like ABC, NBC, and CBS have an average audience of 63 years old. While these metrics may have a small impact on viewership or ratings for Season 2 of LIV Golf, it's interesting that Norman selected a network with a much younger viewing audience than many of the suitable alternatives. Some industry leaders that are familiar with the deal have expressed concerns that the opening round of LIV Golf will not be featured on the CW network. It will only be available on the CW mobile app, but the second and third rounds will be broadcast live on cable television. Some fans were frustrated with this news, but Norman downplayed the reports by suggesting that LIV Golf would have much more exposure than anyone could have expected in 2023. Even with more exposure, Norman has a ton of issues to address going forward. Greg has tried to raise questions in recent weeks about why his golf league is not eligible for official World Golf Ranking points, because he believes that a broadcasting deal and a long slate of events in the season should put him one step closer to achieving his goal. Some insiders believe that a broadcasting deal could give Norman more leverage during negotiations, as he presents LIV Golf as a viable sports league to achieving ranking points through OWGR. Norman continues to cry foul about it because of the claims that members of the Augusta National Golf Club also serve on the board that determines eligibility for official World Golf Ranking points. With or without a broadcasting deal, LIV Golf will be forced to continue without eligibility, which means many of LIV's golfers will inevitably fall in the rankings. But whichever way the pendulum swings, LIV Golf is obviously making progress. However, it remains to be seen if they'll eventually get world ranking points. But what do you think about LIV's new TV deal? We'll catch you in the next one.